Okay, I am going to record this video to guide the author in the rebuttal process. So you should have received an email from us with this PDF document that is called Tip for the Rebuttal version. And here we have a list. I think we have 54 tips for you to follow and to be sure that you have a good answer to the rebuttal. So this PDF make reference to a URL, which is this one that appear here. I'm going to go there. In this URL, here it is. You will have the last version of the tip. So if we update it at any point, you can always come here. We are at version 02 in this moment. And also you have an example of a paper with the correct format. So you can download this. It's a zip file. I already downloaded it. So I have it in my computer. It is here. And it is there. I'm going to unzip it and we are going to work with it. So I just unzip it. And inside you will have the LaTeX file that you can review. For example, let me open it here with Notepad, for example. So this is the LaTeX file. Increase a little the font. So here is the document that we are going to see. I generated in Overleaf. And this is the PDF. The result is this PDF. So the first thing that you should do, and which is very important, is read carefully the review of the evaluator and take them very seriously and make the change that they require, as long as you think that they are just. And in EasyShare, where you have to answer what you have done with change, you should justify which changes you have done and which changes you have not done and why you have not done them. You have to justify. So the first thing that we are going to see when we are going to review if the format of your paper is that, for example, that you have the correct size. So how do I check that I have the correct size, that this is letter? I go here in the hamburger menu and in document property, I go in description, and here in paper size, as you can see, I can see that my document is 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So it's in the correct format. The second thing that you want to check is that all the fonts are embedded. So to do so, we are going to do also something similar. We are going to go to the hamburger menu, document property, and this time we are going to font. And here, all the font should appear like embedded or embedded subset. So as you can see, if I start checking the font, they are embedded subset, all of them. And of course, the one that use normally LaTeX, which is Linux Libertine and Linux Bolinium, should appear at one point. So as you can see, embedded subset, and those are the Linux one that I was telling you, which is the main font that we use. So all the other fonts came from image, came from graphics. So I can see that everything is embedded. So I'm sure that I don't have problem with fonts. Okay, so the next thing that is important is that in your title, as you can see, we should have all the important words, the initial of all the important words capitalized. So for example, network, the N is capitalized, performance, the P is capitalized, evaluation, several, raspberry, the R is capitalized, Pi, the P is capitalized, model, the M is capitalized. IPv4 is the way that normally people write IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4, and IPv6, Internet Protocol version 6. So IP, both are capitalized, okay? So the next important point is we should, in the affiliation, we should have the first name of the author first and the last name. And then we should have the affiliation. So keep the affiliation short. For example, this author belonged to Jacksonville State University, so he just put Jacksonville State University. He doesn't put any school or department. So then we put the city. If you are in the USA, put the state and spell out the state. Put the country, and the last part of the affiliation should be the email of the author. So verify that the email that you put are the correct email, no? And don't forget to spell out the state if you are in the USA. For example, we are here in Alabama, we write Alabama, we spell out Alabama, and we don't write AL. Okay, then we have the abstract. So the abstract should be a paragraph normally. Maybe several paragraphs or 2 paragraphs would be okay, but normally it's one paragraph. And in the abstract, we should only have text, which means we should not have symbol, special character, formula, figure, table, bullet list, enumerate list, citation. You should not have citation in the abstract. Footnote, none of this should be in the abstract. Then we have the CCS concept. So for the CCS concept, let me go to a web page. The document make reference to a web page. And this web page is this one. So here you can create your list of CCS concept. So for example, let's say that I'm interested in having 2 CCS concepts. So for example, here we can see that I don't have any CCS concept. I will navigate here with those boxes and create my CCS concept. So for example, this article is in the field of network. So I click here in network. As you can see, it did appear here. Then it's a paper of a network performance evaluation. So I can click here. It appears after network. So we have CCS, network performance evaluation. This is doing network measurements. So I have it completely here, and I'm going to add it. So it will appear here. So let me click on add. It gives me the possibility to say how important is this CCS concept for the paper. I'm going to put all that are high relevant, but you can change this value if you want. So I'm going to click add, and it appears here. So I have a first CCS concept. You can have just one CCS concept, or you can have several CCS concepts. So let me go back to the root, and I want to have a second CCS concept. So for example, I want, since this paper is also related to security, I want another CCS concept that starts in security and privacy, that will be network security. And I don't want to go deeper. I just want to stay here. I don't want firewall. I don't want that. I just want to add this CCS concept like that. So I'm going to click it here with the same importance, high relevance. So I have 2 CCS concepts. After I do that, I will click this button, generate code, and it will generate the code for you. So if you look, the code has 2 parts, a begin CCS XML and the end CCS XML, and then we have the CCS concept that I choose. So I'm going to copy this, and then I have to go to my LaTeX file and paste the CCS concept. So I'm going to go to Overleaf, which is the LaTeX that is in the cloud that we recommend you to use. And I have the paper in question here. We maximize here. So here is the text. I'm going to go to the beginning. And as you can see, just after the abstract, I did paste what I got from the web page of ACM. So I just paste it here. And then after we have the section of keywords. So you just have to do that. Okay, so that was about the CCS concept. Then after we will have the keywords. So at the level of the keywords, be sure that you separate the keywords with comma, not with semicolon. Then we have the ACM reference format. So let me put the ACM reference format a little bigger. So it's automatically generated by the template of LaTeX that we are using. So you should see the name of the authors. So for example, here you have the first name have to be first, and you have to spell out the first name, the last name of the first author, and then we have the second author. Then we have the date, the year of the conference, the title of the paper, and then we have in, and the rest should be in italic, 2024 ACM Southeast Conference, between parentheses, ACM Southeast 2024, the date, Marietta, Georgia, USA. So you should have ACM, New York State, USA, the number of page of the paper. So this paper have 9 pages. So that would appear here on the DOI. So we don't have DOI at this point. The paper that will be accepted will have a DOI. So for the rebuttal process, just put the DOI as it is in the template. Then we have the copyright. So here, this is the ACM copyright, but the paper that are going to be accepted will choose a copyright. So there will be more information about the copyright. But for example, this is the ACM copyright. And here I can see the acronym of the conference, the date of the conference, the year, Marietta, Georgia, USA. I can see the ISBN. I can see the price that ACM recommend on the DOI. So when you do your rebuttal version, you can use ACM copyright. It should appear exactly as it is. So which means that the or, after the or, you should have changed, go to the next line. After the distributed, you should have go to the next line. If you don't have this design, and if you choose ACM copyright, is because you have a problem. You are not using the correct template. Okay, so let's talk about the title. So the title, most of the title use the same convention. We have title at several levels. So we have the title of the paper where we will put all the important words. We will start them with capital letters. So that will be true in all the title except the title of the section. So for example, here we have a section 1, introduction, and the title of the section will automatically be put all in capital by the template. So even if in my file I just put the I in capital and the rest was in lowercase, the template automatically put everything in capital. So here we have a second title, related work. As you can see, everything is in capital, no? So let's go here. We have a third title, section title, everything is capital. So let's go to the figure. This is the caption of a figure. So this is also a title, the title of the figure. So you should also put in the initial letter of important words in capital. For example, test bed, experiment, have a capital in the E. Wi-Fi, normally we always write Wi-Fi like that. So here we have a title also or a caption of a figure, the same thing. Ethernet have a capital, experiment have a capital, testbed have a capital. Here we have a table. So the caption of the table also will follow the same style, which means that the important word should have a capital. So specification have a capital here, different, raspberry have a capital here, Pi, model have a capital here. So here we have another section. Everything is in capital. And finally, I wanted to arrive to the subsection. And in the subsection, as you will see, we will have the same convention as in the title of the paper or in the title of a figure or a table. We will put the important letter in capital. So TCP is an acronym. It's always all in capital. It's an acronym for transport control protocol. Throughput, the T is in capital. Wi-Fi, we always write Wi-Fi like that. Bandwidth, the B is in capital. Variation, the V is in capital, no? As you can see. And another thing that I want to show you with title is the title of the acknowledge section. It will be automatically in capital. The title of the reference will automatically be in capital. And the title of the papers, the references, you should follow the same convention. So for example, this, let me increase a little the size so you can see it a little better. Okay, so here we have, for example, the title is Network Migration and Performance Analysis in IPv4 and IPv6. So as you can see, there is a capital here. For network, there is a capital in migration, there is a capital in performance analysis. IPv4 is always written like that. IPv6 is always written like that. If I take the second reference, we have, for example, performance analysis with capital A, native, IPv4, IPv6, always like that. Network comparison, tunneling mechanism, no? So don't forget in all the title where you should do it to put a capital in the important words. Okay, now let's talk a little about the section per se. So the number that we will use for the section are Arabic number. So it's section 1 with Arabic 1, it's not an I. Section 2 is not II. And when you make reference to your section, for example, here, I'm making reference to the section, you should use also Arabic number. So for example, section 2 discuss the related work. And as you can see, it's not II, it's a 2, it's an Arabic 2, it's an Arabic 3, it's an Arabic 4, every time that I mention a section. So another thing that is important about the section to verify that you are using the correct template is that we have in section 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. So the first paragraph is not indented, as you can see. There is no indentation here. But all the subsequent paragraphs of a section or a subsection should be indented. LaTeX will take care of that automatically. So this is the second paragraph. As you can see, we have an indentation. Third paragraph, we have an indentation. Fourth paragraph, we have an indentation. So if I go to the second section, here is the first paragraph. There is no indentation. All the subsequent paragraphs should be indented. So this one is indented. This one is indented. This is the next paragraph. This one is indented. This is the next paragraph. And that's it. So that will continue forever in all the paper, that the first paragraph of a section or a subsection should not be indented, but all the subsequents should be indented. Okay, so sometime when we want to make reference to a work, we name the author. When there is a lot of author, we use the et al, which means on authors. So here I have a reference to et al. So the correct spelling of et al is like that, which means et doesn't have a dot, but al have a dot at the end, a period. So for example, here we have Basford, Johnston, Perkin, Garnott Jones, et al. And the reference of the paper presented on analysis, blah, 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 blah. So this is the way that we should write et al. So at the level of the figure, let's talk now about the figure, what is expecting about the figure. So here we have a figure. Maybe I'm going to zoom a little on this figure. So the caption of the figure should be below the figure. As you can see here, we have figure 1 and the caption is below. Figure 2, the caption is below. So the whole caption should be in bold. As you can see, this is in bold. LaTeX will take care of it. If it doesn't appear in bold, it's because you are not doing something right, and most probably you are not using our template. Of course, we use Arabic number also to number our figure. So it will be figure 1, 2, 3. Figure 2 will not be figure II. And when I make reference to a figure, don't write figure I or figure II. Be sure you write figure 1. If you do correctly the things in LaTeX, it will generate the number automatically for you. But if you are less experienced in LaTeX, you may want to write the number directly, which I will not recommend. But if you do it, be sure that you use the correct number, which is an Arabic number. Okay? And when you make reference to the figure, spell out the whole figure. Don't use the abbreviation FIG dot. And here, as you can see also, we spell out the word figure. And when you make reference to a particular figure, the F of figure should be a capital letter, figure 1. Now, if after that, you want to say, in this figure, we can also see. So in this figure, the F of figure will be a lowercase f because you are not making reference to a specific figure. Like here, figure 1, or for example, here, I'm making reference to figure 2. So I write figure with a capital F. Well, I already talked about how you should do the caption. So remember, all the important words in the caption of the figure should be should start with a capital letter. For example, here we have capital letter. Here we have capital letter for Ethernet. Here we have capital letter for experiment. For testbed, we have capital letter. No, and LaTeX should do that automatically for you. The separator between figure and the number of figure and the caption of the figure per se should be a column. So if you have any other character that you are doing something wrong, and of course, before the colon, we don't have space, and after the colon, we do have a space. So the figure, the caption of the figure should be as small or short as possible. So do not explain your figure in the caption of the figure. So it's where you cite the figure that you should explain what is inside the figure, but not in the caption. So as you can see, for example, here we keep the caption of the figure as small as possible. Another thing that we can observe that LaTeX should do that automatically for you is that when the caption of the figure is very small, for example, here, it should be centered. As we can see here, it's centered. Now, when the caption of the figure is over several lines, here it's over 2 lines, it will be left and right flushed. So here, as we can see, we have the text that touch the left margin and the text that touch the right margin. Okay, because the caption of the figure is long. Here also the caption of the figure is long. It is left and right flushed. So do not end the caption of the figure with a dot. As you can see here, figure 4, at the end there is no dot. Or for example, do not end the title of a subsection or of a section with a dot. Here we don't have dot. Here we have the caption of a table. There is no dot at the end, as you can see now. Okay, the figure should have a high resolution. So if you see here, if I zoom on those figures, you will see that there is no problem with the resolution. No, as you can see, it's perfectly visible. There is no pixelation here. Those are graphs that were made originally with Excel. You should bring them in PDF format, and they will not have pixel. So be sure that all the graphs that you have in your figure have a high resolution. They can be bitmap, but they have to be they have to have a high resolution. Okay, so now let's talk about table. basically it's very similar to what I just say about figure. So let's go to a table. Here we have a table that spans 2 columns. So the caption or the title of a table should be before the table. And we will use also Arabic number to enumerate our table. So it will be table 1, table 2, not table II for table 2. The same thing that I already mentioned in the caption. The important word should start with a capital letter. Let me see. When you make reference to a table, for example, here, let's see where we make reference to this table. Maybe I just search table in text. Table, okay. So here we make reference to the table. So as you can see, or here we make reference to the table, the T of table is in capital because it's table 1. Now, as I was mentioning for the figure, if you want to tell something more about the table and you say, in this table, we can also see, so you don't mention table 1, but you just say in this table, in this case, the T of table should be in lowercase. Okay, so the same comment here, the separator should be a colon. Do not put a dot or a period at the end of the caption of the table. The same thing, if the caption of the table is small, it should be centered. So this table spans the 2 columns, so of course, the probability that the caption is long is low. But if it were long and span 2 lines, be sure that it is flush left and flush right. Okay, let's talk about now the acknowledgement section. So the acknowledgement section is toward the end of the paper, and it is there. It will be written automatically in capital, and notice that it doesn't have a number. It's not a section with a number. So here you can put thanks to the sponsor, for example, or to the people that helped you with the paper. And then we have the reference section. So reference is also in capital, and it doesn't have a number here, as you can see. And we have all the references here. So let's talk about the references, a little more about the references. So for each reference, let me do a zoom here. You should have the first name and last name of the author. So let me take reference 2, which is a little easier in this paper. So we have Mohammed Ali, for example, here. So Mohammed is the first name, Ali is the last name, and we have Tara Ya. So Tara is the first name and Ya is the last name. So we should spell out the first name of the author. So I already mentioned that in the title of the reference, do not forget to put in capital all the to put a capital letter at the beginning of all the important words. So the way that the reference should be ordered is by the first name, the last name, sorry, of the first author. So if we see here, we have the first author, and the last name of this author is Ahmed. So it is the first reference. Here we have the second reference, and the last name of the first author is Ali. So Ali is alphabetically come after Ahmed. If I look at the third reference, here we have the last name of the first author, and is Altan Gerel. And as you can see, it was classified or sorted after Ali. So you can keep going, and you should see that, for example, at the end, we have, for example, author that start in Q, then author that start in S. So this is a company, Viros. So it's come after S, the V. So look at here, there is something that is interesting is, for example, this reference to a URL. Here we have the Raspberry Pi Foundation. So if you put the author as Raspberry Pi Foundation, this entry will not be well sorted. It will be sorted with the F, with Foundation, because if we put that as the author, Raspberry Pi Foundation, LaTeX is going to consider that Foundation is the last name, and it's going to classify Raspberry Pi Foundation with Foundation. I would like to classify it with the R of Raspberry Pi. So there is a tip that will tell you how to do that, how to classify it with the R, with the R. So when you have a URL, please do not put access date. So for example, here, this is a reference to URL. There is no access date. We might have other references, other URL here, and you will see that there is no access date. So do not put access date in your URL, when in your reference that are URL. When you have a conference paper, do not forget the city and the country where the conference was held. For example, if I take the first paper, it was published in the proceeding of the 2020 International Conference of Computer Control, Electrical and Electronic Engineering. And here we have Khartoum, Sudan. So this is the city, Khartoum, and this is the country. And if I take, for example, this one, this paper, the third one, it was published, for example, in the city of Russia, as you can see. So it's also in a conference. If I take let's take the fifth one. If I take the fifth one, it was also in the proceeding of a conference in the 2015 Fifth International Conference. And as you can see, we have the city Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia. So if you don't find the city and the country in the paper per se, search for the conference with Google and you will find where the conference were held and put the information of where it was held and the country where it was held. Okay, very important. I come back on that. No, look at this list of author. We spell out the first name, Admir. We spell out the first name of the second author. We spell out Leonard. The first name of the third author. Makoto is the first name of the fourth author. Everything is spelled out. Where IEEE have another convention, they just want the initial and a dot, but ACM require us to spell out the first name of the author. So you will see in general that the paper do not have page number. So be sure that you don't have page number in your paper. And also they do not have in the header, we do not have any header. So use our template or look at the tips that we sent you to know how you remove the header, but be sure you don't have header. So in the last page of the paper, the last two columns, the two columns should be of same height. So there is a way to do that. There is a package in LaTeX that is called balance. Let me go and show you that, for example, in the paper that we have here. So in this paper, at the beginning, very at the beginning, I will say which package I want to use. Here we have the document class, and I say I want to use the balance package. And this is the package that will make the two columns at the end to be of equal size, as we can see it here. So let me search the word balance. So here we have the word balance. just before the biography. Just after the acknowledge, I did put balance. So you have to put \balance in any place of the last page. For example, between two paragraphs, you can put it just before the acknowledge. The acknowledgement, you can put it after the acknowledgement, and it should balance the column of the two columns of the last page. So they are of equal height. So another thing that is important, let me go back to the PDF file. As you will see, for example, here I have section 4. I don't have an hyperlink. If you click here, it will not take you to section 4. I have a reference to figure 6 and 7. If I click here, it doesn't take me to figure 6 and 7. So we don't want hyperlink in the paper. So let me show you, for example, a reference. We have the same thing with the reference. Let me find a reference here, a citation to a reference. Okay, here we have 14. We cite reference 14, and I try to click, and it doesn't take me to reference 14. No, and if you have a URL, the same thing. No, you should not have a hyperlink that take you to the place. Another thing that is important, look at this PDF file, does not have a bookmark. So in some version of Acrobat Reader, you have the bookmark on the left. In some of the version, you have the bookmark on the right. I do have here, I do have something with bookmark, for example, the proceeding of ACM 2023. As you can see here, we have the bookmark. Okay, so if I click, for example, of index of author, it's take me to the index of author. If I click on program committee, it's take me to program committee. So we don't want you to put bookmarks because, of course, all the paper that are going to be accepted, we are going to add the bookmarks in the proceeding. So we will have the different section on the different papers. So we will use our own bookmark. That's why we don't want you to put bookmark in the version that you are going to send in for the rebuttal. No. So I think I have give an overview of what you should check. So be sure that you take into account the comment of the reviewer. And in EasyShare, when you are going to upload your rebuttal version, you will also have to specify what change you have done at the level of the comment of the reviewer. So you will have to say, okay, the reviewer asked me to do that and I did it, or I did it partially because I consider this, or I didn't do it because of this reason. But you have to justify why you do it, why you have to specify when you do it, and you have to justify when you don't do it. And be sure you follow all the tips. So you have these documents, you have the video in this document that we sent you, and that is in the cloud. Also, you have the tips. So let me zoom a little on these documents. These documents have a lot of tips, as you can see, and it will guide you on how to be sure that your rebuttal version is in the correct format. Remember that the program committee will accept paper based on two criteria. So the criteria is since your paper is in the rebuttal phase, is how did you answer the requirement or the recommendation of the reviewer, and if your paper do follow the format that we need, that we will be very strict in that. So please, you have a lot of information. Be sure you follow all the tips that are here in this document. Okay. If you have any question, please email us. at the EasyShare email, and we will help you. Thank you.